Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
Do I ever read a gospel to you where it like sticks in your gut? Like, I don't want to say that. I am not going to praise God for saying that. This is one of those gospels, right? It just catches and you're like, I ain't on board with that at all. And if you are someone for whom this gospel comes easily, there's the door. There's another door. There's a door. And there's a door right there. Because we've got some serious soul searching to do if this comes easily to us. It doesn't come easily. In fact, it's counterintuitive to everything that we say about Jesus, right? Jesus is loving, he's supportive, he's kind, he rides unicorns, he gives candy to everybody, rainbows all the time, right? Jesus is love. Love is awesome. No, it's not. It's not. So this is a hard gospel. And I will be honest, as a clergy person, this is probably one of the hardest ones. Because for me, it catches for me because I'm like, well, wait. Am I supposed to give up everything of who I am to follow the cross? And am I willing to do that? Because everything of who I am, for me, is really, really important, right? I'm not willing to sacrifice my family. I'm not willing to go to whatever ends of the earth and live in abject poverty wearing horsehair shirts and I don't know what all. I mean, I think that's where we read the passage incorrectly. This is a passage where some people are like, oh, this means sacrifice and martyrdom. You know, you all know the Christians who are like obsessed with the victimization and martyrdom. It's so hard. It's so hard being us, and nobody understands how hard it is being us. Come here for me. Right? I'm not the only Christian who gets really irritated with those Christians. Right? Okay. No, not just me. All right. But we're reading it wrong. Because let's go look at that passage a little bit more. And the one that I really want to focus on is those who set their hand to the plow and turn away are not prepared for the kingdom of God. So let's do just a little bit of text analysis first. I'm a farm kid. You wouldn't know that because I live in like suburbia. But I am. Naturally, I'm a farm kid. Okay, so I grew up with the whole plowing thing. Now, when I grew up about plowing, you had these big, magnificent tractors and all this really cool equipment. I mean, this stuff has like GPS. It will drive itself. It is awesome, right? Funny thing, that's not what they had back then. Crazy, right? And so when we look at this passage, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So kind of the common thing, and there are still areas of the world where this machinery would be used. Okay, but really you're looking at a wood plow, and it's not easy. It's great if you have like an oxen or something to pull it for you, but frequently you don't. And the dirt is not Iowa, Illinois dirt. It's like not cool dirt. So it's not easy to plow. So it's hard work, right? So it's a full body thing, right? So you got your fun little plow here. You're super excited because you have a plow, so that's cool. But it's like this, and you're like, right? Okay. Now, I want you to think about this. And some Missourians get it because Missouri soil isn't great either. No offense, Missouri, but it's clay and rock. Okay, so full body effort, right? All the farm people are like, yeah, Missouri is not cool farming. Okay, so that's why they run cattle a lot, because cattle, anyway, long story short. See, farm kid. Okay, so you're going this way, right? Now, let's assume you've got a full body effort, and then you hear something behind you, and you go like this. Are you able to push it in the direction? So, one, you're not going to be able to get it to go. 2, it's going to go in the wrong direction. That's going to be like a mess. You don't want that. Okay, do we get the image now? Because I've like beat this horse to death, right? So it's important if you are plowing that you have full body, you're going in the direction that you're going in, you're focused, right? Because if you're not, it's not going to work. Okay, I want you to put that into the image of our lives as Christians. Because the fad in Christianity, and it has been for quite some time, I don't know, I'm thinking like maybe 1,000 years or so, is, and definitely within the last 100, Christianity is really like a hat that you put on because it looks really cool, but it's like a pillbox woolen one, and it's completely useless, but it looks really good, but you keep it like in a box in your cabinet, like away from everything, because you don't want anything bad to happen to it. But when it is convenient to you, you break it out, right? Because it looks good, it's great for where you're going, and it makes you look awesome. That's what Christianity has become. It's a pillbox hat made of wool. It is completely useless. You only get it out every once in a while because when you're around really cool people, it might come in handy. Because people are like, woo, cool hat. Okay, that is what Christianity has become to us. But that's not what Christianity is. Christianity is a lifestyle. It's the very way in which we live our lives. It's the direction in which we go. It's not something I think, well, I guess I could go to church. I mean, there might be some cool people there. And I'll break out my sweet hat, because I haven't worn it in a few months. Breaking out the sweet hat today. But no, it's a full body. It is everything in you going in one direction. It is a lifestyle. And our problem is that for many of us as Christians, it's just something that we do when it's convenient, right? Christianity has been something that doesn't necessarily have to impact the rest of your life. And it has caused us a lot of problems. I'm looking at you, Paul. Paul really dissected it for us this morning, right? Yeah, I mean, you can be a Christian and live a completely selfish life. You can do what you want to do. You can break out the hat when it's convenient to you. But that's not what Christianity is. Christianity is a life. It impacts every decision you make. And it won't seem like a sacrifice. I'll give you an example. This is a personal example. I was 16 when I received my calling to the priesthood. And I was about as 16 as you can get. I mean, let's not pretend that I was like this holy, devout, wonderful, beautiful 16-year-old. I wasn't. I was as 16 as you get. I mean, this is like God calling Moses. This is not a romantic tale. And at the time, for much of that time, I'd intended to be an attorney. I wanted to be a victim's advocate attorney. That was my plan. I had planned out. We know what we're going to do. We got to get through this high school thing. Ugh. And then we got to go to college, and then we're going to law school. I got a plan. Right? And then God shows up. And God goes, ha-ha, ha-ha. And I get my calling. But me being me and me being very 16, I was like, yeah, that's great, God. Cool. Good for you. I'm still going to be a lawyer, but, we can tack this priest thing onto it. I'll break it out like a hat. When it is useful to me or when it's fun, I will do the priesthood thing. But I'm going to do my own thing anyway. It was not until my senior year of college that suddenly turned around. And I was like, oh, wait, that was not the plan. And that changed. But that's kind of how we want to live our Christian lives, isn't it? We got a plan. We're doing our thing. We're living in the suburbs. Got our stuff. Got the whole thing. And maybe when it's convenient, we might bring God into it when it fits into our picture. But then God goes, ha-ha, that's not how it works. Okay, so what I want us to think about is the fact that Christianity is everything. And I think sometimes we want to look at this passage and hear guilt. Like we've got to give up everything, right? We're going to be like St. Francis and whatever. If you don't know the story of St. Francis, Google it. It's a really good story. Come back to me. He's my favorite. But that's not really what it means. It means that every aspect of our life is holy. So if I am going in the direction of God, my family and all that other stuff is part of that direction of God, right? So it's one thing at 16 to be like, my direction is lawyer. I might maybe sometimes bring Christianity into it, but what if my calling and my vocation is priest, serving God, following God? And what if all that other stuff in my life is part of that vocation? Does that change it? Does that change the way that I live my life when I go to the grocery store? Does that change the way that I parent my kids? They really hope so. Does that change my relationships with my friends, my spouse, other people in my life? So it's not a shedding or a giving up of all that. It's that is part of our vocation as Christians. Does that make sense? This is not about sacrifice or giving up. This is about realizing that Christianity is a vocation. It is everything of what we do. So I'm not going to do an altar call in which I say, who's going to give everything up, sell it all, give it to St. Anne's because we got a mortgage, got to pay that off, and we're going to go to wherever and we're going to save the world. No, that's not what this is. What this is saying, God has called you to where you are. God has equipped you to be where you are. And when we live a vocational life, that becomes a part of our ministry. Where we are. I'm just as capable of following God and being a priest in Harrisonville Middle School as I am in Lee Summit, St. Anne's. But it doesn't go like this. It doesn't go, well, I want to be a school counselor. I might be a priest sometimes on the side. It's about the lens in which we look at our lives. And that's what I ask us to do today. Clear off that lens, because our lens is the way that we look at our lives. It's not about throwing it all away for someone else's image of what Christian looks like. It's about clearing off the lens in which we have that God calls us to and realizing that that is our vocation. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, God has brought you to that. And in that, where you are, when you're looking towards the cross, you will find God. And what's more important is when you're looking towards the cross, you will bring the cross to others. And that is the impact of a Christian life. It's not something that we pick up every once in a while. Because we want it one way or the other, right? We want to say it's complete sacrifice. We're giving up everything. We're going to go live in the wilds of whatever. And we're going to sell everything we got. And we're going to do that. Or, that sounds uncomfortable. Yeah, no, I might possibly go to church every once in a while. Somewhere in the back of my closet, I have a necklace with a cross on it. So, saved, right? Right? So we have these two extremes of Christianity. But right down the middle, when we are focused on the cross is where we're called to be. That is the Christian life. Now, the Christian life can take you anywhere on that spectrum. But the problem lies when, instead of being focused here, we go over there. Because then it gets really, really wonky, and it's not a good situation. So that's what I want us to hear in the gospel today. I don't want us to hear a gut-wrenching, can't get on board with that. But I want us to hear what it really, truly is. What God is really, truly calling us to, which is Him. God is calling us to God. And when we go towards God, all that other stuff suddenly makes sense. It falls into place. And every act that we do, every decision we make, every word we say, every tweet we type is ministry. Everything goes towards that cross. So it's not about abject sacrifice. It's not about greed and gross and putting the hat away and breaking it out sometimes. It's about following the cross. And if we do that, it's full body, all in, all the time. To that, we are called.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.